Hey Gurus, Mark here. I'm coming to you from AWS reInvent 2017. I've got Peter here with me. We're going to talk a bit about serverless and all the absolutely crazy, amazing announcements that we heard this week. Serverless was a continuing theme through Tuesday Night Live, Andy Jassy's keynote, Werner's keynote. It was popping up everywhere. It was a dedicated track in the jam-packed area. It was on everybody's mind. Leading into that, obviously, ACG Guru has a huge history in serverless, running serverless Conf around the world for the last 2 years. So Peter, question for you. What was your favorite serverless announcement to start off with?
Well, Mark, there were many announcements. It's actually hard to pinpoint one. And to me, serverless is the point of reInvent. None other announcements are as important as serverless. So the serverless app repo, very important, very cool announcement. AWS AppSync, that serverless managed GraphQL endpoint, very, very cool. We use GraphQL internally at aCloud Guru, so I'll be interested in seeing how this service could help us. Of course, 3 GB Lambda functions. We've been waiting for it for a long time. And concurrency controls per function, delicious. So there's a lot, and I'm sure we'll be exploring and talking about all these new features and all the other ones too over the coming weeks and months.
Fantastic. And of course, one thing that strikes me as I hear you list out these announcements, there's a couple that more technical users might not get, but it shows the depth of expertise, the history that you've had in this space working with these, where something like concurrency really matters. And in production, it's absolutely critical. So AppSync kind of snuck out. It wasn't in any of the keynotes. It was a blog post that they released. Because the challenge we have at reInvent is you have those big name announcements that hit in the keynotes. You've got stuff that gets in a breakout. You've got stuff that gets in a blog post. You've got stuff that gets in a tweet, that gets in a doc, and it just keeps going all the way off frame as this cascade and this avalanche of announcements come out. We've hit on the big ones for serverless dedicated, or at least around Lambda and compute. There was some interesting ones around the data stores, around databases. Do you want to talk about those a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The serverless Aurora was an unbelievable announcement that I didn't know about beforehand. So Aurora is a database. It's a relational database that AWS makes, and it's a great database. And now there is a serverless offering as well. It will automatically scale for you. There is per second billing. So this is a true serverless solution for your relational database needs. Of course, there's DynamoDB, a database that we all know and love. It's a great NoSQL database that, again, we use extensively within aCloud Guru, and it's used extensively all over enterprise and startups. Now it supports global table replication, which is a great feature that we've been waiting for.
So one thing that jumped out there, Dynamo is sort of synonymous with serverless applications. Aurora and Postgres and MySQL compatible database, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way that is a true serverless solution.
Yeah, I agree, unusual. It's not something that we would normally expect, right? When we think of serverless, we think of NoSQL, like you said, Mark. So this is going to be very interesting for us to explore a relational database that is truly serverless, that truly scales for you, where you don't need to think about instance sizes. How will it work? So we'll have to experiment over the coming weeks and months to really figure out, how it will work for us.
I think that's really a key theme of the serverless community in general, is everyone's experimenting, sharing that back with everybody else so that we can all learn from it. And I'm sure we'll see some great content here on aCloud Guru around serverless Aurora when it is generally available and as people get more experience with it. So we've talked about the compute, we've talked about the data backends. How are we getting all this code out there? Is there anything new in serverless around deployment?
Absolutely. So there have been a number of announcements about incremental deployment. So now you can incrementally deploy to your serverless application using code deploy. There are also weighted Lambda functions, so you can say that some of the traffic can go to one version of your Lambda function, and some of the traffic can go to another version of the Lambda function. And that's great because you can use it to test whether a newly deployed Lambda function is working as you expect. And you can roll back, or you can kind of upgrade to a newer version and route all your traffic after half an hour of testing. So there's that. And API Gateway supports something similar as well, kind of that weighted traffic routing that will kind of choose the source kind of automatically based on the proportion of the traffic that comes into the gateway.
So are you saying now with these weighted features in
Yep.
both API Gateway and AWS Lambda that we can do A/B testing and we can do blue-green deployments?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, AWS calls it canary deployments for API Gateway, where you
Okay.
can, have a canary that'll tell you, oh, something may not be working as well as you expect. So maybe you do have to roll back and go back to your previous deployment.
That's fantastic. It's really another sign of the maturation of serverless technologies and the acceptance of serverless as a primary deployment and design method. So we covered compute, we covered databases, we covered deploy. What did we miss? What else is out there, or what did you see that excited you?
Look, there have been a number of pre-reinvent announcements, which sometimes get get lost in the noise and the excitement of reInvent. So before reInvent, SNS filtering was announced, where you could actually filter SNS messages and not necessarily invoke the integration endpoint if the received message doesn't match what the filter is. So that's a good one. There have been a number of Lambda at the edge improvements. So now you can have bigger Lambda packages, there's more memory allocated, and you can do a few newer things that you couldn't do before. So I urge you to go and check out documentation, and of course follow A Cloud Guru for kind of more in-depth analysis and examples.
Okay, great. Now, maybe not restricted to serverless, but you've been here, you've been to reInvent before. Obviously, this is a crazy, crazy week. So much stuff going on. What was the highlight for you?
The highlight, of course, the replay party on Thursday night is amazing. It's the craziest party that you can ever go to, or at least that I've been to. And it's thousands of people packed together, great music, unlimited food, drinks, and just lots and lots of fun. But to me, look, the sessions have been fantastic. I went to a number of serverless sessions, which were great. Keynotes are always fun. You always sit there in anticipation. What's going to be announced? Is it going to be something revolutionary and breakthrough? And yeah, there have been announcements like AppSync for me that really got me excited. So look, it's been another, to me, successful reInvent. Look, I think next year is going to be exciting, and yeah, I cannot wait to see what AWS gives us in the coming years.
Fantastic. So there you have it, gurus. Tons of great serverless announcements. A lot of small, really impactful announcements as well. Things like the 3 gig limit, Go language support, lots of great stuff. I know it's hard to keep up with it. That's one of the reasons we're bringing you this great content exclusive for A Cloud Guru members. Tune into the forums, tons of discussions going on. Keep up with Peter on Twitter. Also, you're going to see him on a lot more videos because he's great. We'll talk to you soon, gurus.
All right, keep being awesome, Cloud Gurus.